Year one of the 12-team college football playoff, and change could already be on the horizon. It's hard to make everyone happy, but there certainly was a good amount of noise and outcry after the committee revealed that 12 teams this past weekend that will be playing for the chance to win a national championship. And of course, with that championship still to be crowned this year, in case you're forgetting who the 12 teams are in the bracket this year, this is how it all sets up. Of course, those top 4 seeds all receiving byes immediately into that next round, but then on the left side of the teams that will play home games for the lower seed at their home stadium, all culminating with a national champion to be crowned come 2025. We're now bringing our college football expert, Dennis Dodd, and Dennis has been on top of this every step of the way. Already has an article up on CBSSports.com chronicling what we're about to talk about right now. And Dennis, the earliest that the CFP can change their format is in 2026. What changes, when we talk about that, are the committee maybe looking to make?
Well, this is an initiative, Zach, kind of led by the Big Ten, and we got through this earlier this year where the Big Ten and SEC sort of suggested expanding to 14 teams and giving each one of those conferences 4 automatic berths. It was met with high-pitched voices and was completely shot down by the ADs around the country. But I have since learned that since then, the SEC and Big Ten actually have voting control over the structure and format of the college football playoff going forward. So they can basically do whatever they want. And one of the discussion points right now is to get to those automatic qualifiers, is to actually play for them. And that's where it makes sense here. Instead of just saying, letting a committee decide which teams go in because they absolutely don't trust the humans in the selection committee, they would have a championship Saturday play-in. And this would involve 1 versus 2 in the traditional championship game. But think of this. On the same day, the number 6 team in that conference, in those conferences, versus the number 3 team in that conference, the number 5 team, whatever it is in the standings, against number 4. And so those 3, at least, if not a 4th, would then go and be automatically in the college football playoff. This would start in 2026. I think it's almost a resigned conclusion right now, Zach, that it's going to grow to 14. I have heard through industry sources that 16 might be too much, that the ESPN doesn't want to pay for 16 teams. But that's another discussion for another time. But this is kind of unique. And, Zach, it goes back to at least 2021 as the discussion point, that July when it was leaked that Texas and Oklahoma were going to join the SEC. It was being talked about even then. So the conferences, the FBS conferences, will meet after the season, most likely in February, start talking about this.
So then are we looking at a situation where the SEC and Big Ten would each every year be guaranteed to have 3 teams make it in? And in that scenario, when you talk about the automatic qualifying, if you have 1 playing 2, I'm assuming no matter who loses, both teams are making it in. And then why are we including the 6th team as well? Like how will that all play out?
Yeah, well, they would play football on that day. The schedule would be arranged for them, the top 6 teams or 8. I don't know about the 4th team. I don't know if the loser of the champ game would be in, or they'd actually play another game, go down to 8 teams and actually have 4 winners come out of that. But that's been the latest talking point between those 2 conferences, and it's kind of been floated out there. So, and I don't know if it's an original idea. As I said, it goes back to 2021, but I think there's some credibility to it because they'd actually be playing football. Now, the people in the other 7 conferences are going to go, wait a minute, I don't know if the ACC and Big 12 can do something like this. They don't have an 8-team field that, number one, a network is going to pay for, not to add extra games. It wouldn't be add from those conferences.
Yeah, this will be crazy.
So it's going to be conclusion. These 2 conferences rule everything. They get most of the money. They have a weighted voting structure to make it happen. So I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, this will be fun. It'll be interesting, and I know it sure will still get people talking, and they won't be happy either way. Dennis Dodd, thank you so much. Appreciate it for the time. And, of course, that bracket for the current year here in this 2024 season, this is what it looks like. We'll see maybe come 2026 how things might change, but that Oregon still waiting for the winner, Tennessee and Ohio State as the number 1 seed. Things still to be played, games still to be determined to crown a national champion.